Hello students, we are going to continue with our session. The role of industries and geographical significance. The next topic is location. Location. A plant location is an important factor that determines the preference of an organization. Plant industrialization offers smooth working of the industry. It also maintains social and economic structure of the country. In older days, the location was selected randomly by the preference or the convenience of manufacture, which leads to a failure of many organizations. A plant location is a very important decisions for the both of manufacturing unit and assembly unit. The location is decided as per nature and the size of organization and product to be manufactured. Need of location. According to the type of production takes by the producer, the need of location is divided into two factors. First factor is physical factors. These are the factors which are primarily influence the industries. They are accessibility. The site of a new factory needs to be accessible so that importing raw material and exporting the finished products is easy. Early industries has to have a good access of raw material, usually through natural routes like rivers. Nowadays, access is needed to transport routes. Climate. The climate could affect where an industry locates, as it needs to attract workers in that area. Land. The site of an industry is very important. Usually, flat land is most essential things to find. Most industries also try to find area where there is a room to expand once production has become successful. The location of industry should be less easily reachable to the workers also. Power. Initially, industries had to locate right beside its source of power. Water power was used at first, then it transfers to the coal produce steam power. Both sources of energy restricted where the industries could locate, as they had to be set beside the suitable river or near the coal field. Nowadays, power can be easily transferred through the wires, so industries can be scattered their location. Raw material. Old and heavy industries require a large amount of bulky raw material which were very costly to transport, and so the industry located close to them. Newer industries are described as being footloose industries as they are not tied by being near to the raw material, which are smaller and easier to transport. The second factor which are affected the need of location is socio-economic factors. These are those factors which are indirectly affected the industries. They are capital, very important to any industries. Company cannot set up close to a chosen industry without the investment of money. This may come from the private source or from the government. So usually the huge capital requirement was satisfied by the urban areas. So many industries located near the urban areas. Communication, the most important factors for industries nowadays. Due to globalization, industries needs to communicate with not over the rest of the country but also with the rest of the world. Transport routes such as motorways, airways, railways and ports are the necessary to attract industrial location. Communication increasingly also includes access to the internet, fax and phones. All this allows industries to have greater freedom of choice over their location. Government policy. Government can greatly influence the location of industries by giving tax intensive, cheap rent or cheap availability of land. Other benefits, company might be located into certain areas of the countries to reduce regional imbalances. Often these are the places which governments wants to develop economically. Government policy also leads to the closure of many heavy industries. Labor supply. It is very important factors for labor intensive industries. This is why many of them located in the inner city so that there is a huge pool of potential worker close by. With the with the development of car ownership and transportation facilities, industries become more mechanized. Labor supply is an also important factors for most of the industries. However, some industries rely on this for the process of production. For example, knowledge-based industries are located near the universities to access qualified labors. Markets. Access to market is very much important for the any industries as they needs to supply their finished product. In 20th century, the market widened with the improved transport technology. Now the market for many companies is a global one. Now we are going to start with the Weber's theory of industrial location. Alfred Weber is a German economist who was the first economist gave a scientific explanation of the theory of location which has able to help to fill the theoretical gap created by the classical economists. His theory of industrial location was first published in German language in 1909 and then translated into English language in 1929. His theory is also known as pure theory, which gives an analytical approach to the problem. The basis of his theory is to study of general factors which pull an industry towards the different geographical region, and thus it is a deductive approach. In his theory, he has taken into consideration factors that decide the actual setting of any industries. The factor responsible for industrial migration, according to Weber's, has been divided into regional or primary cause and agglomerative and deglomeration factors, that is secondary factors. Our primary factors are included transportation cost, location and classification of material, while an agglomerative products provide an advantages in production or marketing a community simply because industry is located in one place, while deglomerative gives a production or marketing a commodity advantage because of the decentralization of products. According to Weber's, transportation cost plays an important role in location of industries. Each industry will try to locate at a place where the transportation charges are the barest to minimum, both in terms of availability of resources and a place of communication. According to him, transportation cost plays an important role for the development of any industries. The availability, the nature of region, whether the rocky or plain or mountainous, will decide the cost of transportation for any facilities available in that area. Weber has discussed the laws of transportation. According to him, material index measures the total weight to be moved. From material index, he understood the portion of weight that is localized material to be weight for all the production. According to him, the location also plays a According to him, classification of material can be done. A material can be classified into unibiotous material that is suitable for movable, that is bricks, clay, etc. and localized material that is weight losing material, raw material which can be lose their weight in the process of transportation. For example, sugar, cotton, wool or iron coal material which is having a bigger transportation cost. According to him, an agrometric products are the products which provided advantages for the production of industries due to industries located in different regions. Agrometric Agglomeration is encouraged with the high coefficient and deglomeration with the low. According to him, which we do We shall do well bear in mind that the labor orientation is one of the form of derivation from minimum point and aggravation to another. Criticism. The theory is based on unrealistic assumption. Many assumption in the theory is unrealistic. According to them, Weber's has only taken into two elements for determining the cost of transportation, namely weight and distance. He has not given transportation into quality and quantity of goods, topology, characteristics of region. Labor centers notion detective. Weber's idea that labor centers have also not been able to accept it. He has started with the pre-assumption that there are fixed labor centers with the unlimited supplies of labor in each of them. Obviously, both these assumptions are not correct. There cannot be a fixed labor centers and then cannot be unlimited supplies of labor in any center. Ideas about fixed points of consumption. Consumers are always scattered all over the country, and thus consumer centers always shift with the shift in industrial population. Therefore there cannot be fixed point of consumption. Vague generalization. Weber's, while explaining his theory of industrial location, has introduced and believe on certain vague generalization. He has given no due place to non-economic factors of industrial location which play a big role in this regard. Who can deny there are certain historical and social factors which go a long way while deciding industrial location of industries? But he has completely ignored them, which has made the theory very unrealistic, not a deductive theory. According to some economists, artificial distinction between general and special factor which influence the location of industries has not considered in the theory. According to Weber's, transportation cost and labor cost are only general cost. He has failed to explain why the capital cost and management cost cannot be included or covered under it. Defective method of analysis. Weber has tried to classify material into uniqueness and fixed material. Again, the division is not decided. According to some economists who does not know that in particular practice material are drawn from a large number of alternative fixed point overburdened with technical consideration. Weber's theory is heavily overburdened with technical consideration. It has not laid due to the stress on cost and prices and have only overstress on technical coefficient. Localization of industries. Localization means the concentration of certain industries in a particular area or locality or region. Localization is related to a territorial division of labor, that is specialization by area or region. A certain town or a region tends to specialize in the production of particular commodity. For example, Switzerland specializes in watches, Brazil in coffee, India in tea. In India, iron and steel industries is concentrated in Bihar, tea industries in Assam, cotton textile industry in Maharashtra and Gujarat, sugar industry in UP and Bihar, jute industries in Bengal, and so on are the example of localization of industries. Moving further, advantages of localization of industries. Reputation. The place where an industry is localized gain reputation, and so do the products manufactured there. As a result, products being named of that place find wide markets such as switch watches, skilled labors. Localization leads to the specialization in particular trade. As a result, workers skilled in those trades are attracted to that place. The localized industry is continuously fed by the regular supply of skilled labor that also attracts new firms into the industry. Besides, there is a local supply of skilled labor which children of the workers inherited. Again, the example of watch industry in Switzerland, shawl industry in Kashmir, etc. Growth of facilities. Concentration of industry in particular locality leads to the growth of certain facilities there. To cater the need of industry, banks and financial institution opens their branches whereby the firms are able to get timely credit facilities. Railway and other transportation facilities are available in that area. Subsidiary industries. When industries are localized, subsidiaries industries grow up to supply machines, tools, implements, and other materials and to utilize their byproducts. For example, where the sugar industries is localized, plants to manufacturing sugar industries tool implements are set up, and the subsidiary industries crop up the manufacturing of site of rearing utilization of various resources. Employment opportunity. With the localization of an industry in a particular locality and the establishment of subsidiary industries, employment opportunities considerably increase in that locality. Common problem. All firms for an association to solve their common problem secure or facilitate agencies are come together, establish research laboratory, burdens on government to provide more services, publish technical and trade journals, opens training centers for technical personnel. As a result, all firms benefits. Economic gain. Localization tends to a lowering the cost of production, improvement in the quality of products where the firms benefit from the availability of skilled labor, timely credit, quality material, research facility, market intelligence, transport facility, etc. Besides the trade gain through the reputation of the place, the people gain through the larger employment opportunity, the government gain through the larger tax revenue, and thus the economy gain as a whole. Now, disadvantages of localization of industry. Dependence. When an industry developed in a particular locality, it makes the economy dependent for its requirement of the products manufactured there. Such dependence is dangerous in the event of war, depression, or natural calamities because the supply of the products will be disturbed and entire economy will suffer. Social problem. Localization of industry in particular locality creates a many social problem such as congestion, emergence of slums, accident, strike, etc. This adversely affects the efficiency of labors and the production capacity of industry. Limited employment. Where an industry is localized, employment opportunity are limited for a particular type of labor. In an event of recession in an industry, specialized labor fails to get an alternative employment elsewhere. Again, if such specialized labor organizes itself into powerful trade union, it can force the employers to pay higher wages, which may be raise the cost of production and adversely affects the industry. Diseconomies. With the passage of time, the concentration of industry in particular locality creates a diseconomies of scale. Transport bus bottlenecks emerges. There is a frequent power breakdowns. Financial institute are unable to meet the credit requirement for the entire industry due to a financial shortage. The laborers might be asked for a higher wages and better living condition, which also leads to raise cost of production and reduce the productivity. Regional imbalances. Concentration of industries in one region or area tends to lopside the development of the economy. When one industry is localized in a region, it attracts more entrepreneurs who establish other industries there because of availability of infrastructure facilities like power, transportation, finance, labor, etc. Thus, such regions develop more, with the other regions remain backward. Employment opportunity in the level of income and the standard of living increases at the higher age in this region as compared to the other regions in the country. Therefore, a backward region will be kept backward because the development of the industrialized or local industries will be taken place while the development of backward region is neglected. So government has to start its own industries in the backward region to encourage private enterprises to start industries by giving concession to them. Thank you, students.